Good evening, everybody. This is Donnie B. GotDaBeats. You're here on Two Flew West with my buddy, my co-worker, co-host, big bro, little bro, brother from another mother, Nicholas Baker. And we also got our guest today, Ryann Kelly, tattoo artist extraordinaire, live painting extraordinaire, back from our hometown of the DMV. Got to get it pop today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ryan said we got to get it moving. She got things to do, so we about to get it in and get it out. No game.
It's Saturday night, man. It's Monday tomorrow. You know, I got it.
It's Sunday, but it's cool.
So, Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
How have you been? Let me say that because I ain't seen you in a month of moons.
I know. It's been a journey, but I've been good. I've done a lot since I've last seen you guys, and yeah, it's all about self-discovery and growth, right? So it's been great. Been difficult, but it's been great at the same time.
Hey, look, those of them who may not know of you yet, tell them a little bit about what you do, who you are, where you at.
Okay. Well, my name is Ryann Kelly. I am a tattoo artist here in the DMV area. It's a little bit about my background. I worked as a web developer, front and back end developer, and a mobile application developer as a in the federal government. I was a contractor for about 9 years. And then earlier this year, I decided to do my tattooing and my art full time. So with that, like I said, tattooing, but also from a visual art standpoint, I do oil paintings, murals, illustrations, and whatnot. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, entrepreneur, got all the promise behind her name.
Right.
Tattoo, comma, live painter, comma, singer, comma, graphic designer.
I didn't say nothing about singing.
I mean, but you do it. I already know. Look, you can't hide the skills. Can't hide them. I know.
It's been a long time since I've sang. Yeah. But I do have that, yes.
But say that, so you own it. See what I'm saying? That's
I do got it. I do got it.
So, Ryan, how did you? Let's talk about the tattoo industry. How did you get involved in the tattoo industry? How did you start that?
So, I got my undergrad degree in graphic design, which is I got a BFA, Bachelor's of Fine Art, and
where'd you go?
Norfolk State University, behold the green and gold.
I'm sorry, which Norfolk State?
The Norfolk State, the one and only.
you know, you got come for it.
You know. Oh yeah. Aren't y'all Hampton? Aren't y'all Hampton people?
We'll give you a pass.
We don't need to be for the Hampton, but it's cool.
We'll give you a pass. Go for it.
Yeah. But I was an art major at Norfolk, and that really, actually, I didn't even start drawing until college. And so, yeah, that really, I've always been interested in art, but nothing visual, nothing fine art. And after that, I got into my field of the web. But, while I was working, I've always felt like, yeah, I love graphic design and I'm cool with it. It's great to make money. But I felt as though I just wasn't passionate about it. It was just another check. And my philosophy is, you spend 75% of your life at work anyway. So you might as well do it doing something you love. And from there, I started studying tattooing because I'm like, as an artist, what's a way that I can make money rapidly, but still be in the realm of art? And tattooing was something that just came across my radar as I was getting a tattoo. Asking the tattoo artist at the time who was doing it, like all these questions about how she got into industry. And, I just kind of researched and I was like, I could really do this. So I started, at that point, I had a conversation with that tattoo artist and inquired about doing an apprenticeship with her. And she kind of taught me the ropes. And from there, once I was ready to fly, I flew off on my own and went to another shop and, gained clientele along the way. And it's been really good. I learn every day. I'm like a therapist. I'm figuring, I've heard some crazy stories and I've seen some crazy things. But I mean, for the most part, it's been really good. Like I said, I'm always learning. It's still a journey. It's definitely still a journey, but yeah, it's kind of how
I got a quick piggyback question off of it. as a Black woman in the tattoo industry, do you feel like you've seen any obstacles?
Man, let me tell you.
Okay.
So it's funny. I was just talking about this with another artist, but in the world of tattooing, it's a very white male dominated industry. And you know, that side of the industry, they've had like their ink masters and all types of tattoo shows. But for us, when we got a chance to have our platform, you know, it came in the Black Ink Crew, which for me, love those very talented tattoo artists, but the show itself for me was just not as talent centered as some of the the other shows. So it's almost like, man, we got a chance to showcase our skills as Black people. They were focused more on the drama than the talent. Mm-hmm. And so it's very hard being a Black woman in the industry, you know, from one, getting as a woman, just getting respect from clients and artists that, you know, women can create dope artwork just like the men. But then as a Black person, it's like, all right, well, you don't really see a lot of heavy hitters in the tattoo industry in mainstream. So it's a constant trying to prove myself without having to over sexualize myself either. You know, and I see that often in the industry, a lot of women taking sexy photos, which is fine, especially if you're a tattoo model. But yeah, I just never want to put myself already below the bar just to get, because people aren't going to respect you that way, in my opinion. All I want you to do is see me for my work,
right,
not anything else. So it's a fight, it's a struggle, but I have a good tribe of other Black female tattoo artists in this area that I have connected with, and so we support each other, and we, you know, lift each other up, and you know, I haven't experienced a lot of the, you know, the cattiness between the females in this area, but I'm sure it's there, but definitely.
Well, Ryann, since you brought it up, let me ask you: do you have a preference? Well, I don't want to say preference because that would mean that somebody's less than. That's not the question I want to ask specifically. But do you gravitate more towards BI Chicago, BI NY, or BI out here in Inglewood or Compton, rather?
NY. More so because I've met a few of them personally. You know, like I know, you know, especially like Duchess. She's really cool to be HBCU grad, very good businesswoman. I mean, yeah, I'd prefer the NY crew.
So let me ask, look, this is probably a conflicting question, but I'm very interested to see what you say. Mm-hmm. If Caesar was like, look, I'm trying to start a Black Ink DC, and we want you to be on the show, how would you feel about that?
I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I do it just because I don't know if the show will. I mean, yes, I'll gain popularity, but I don't know if I'd gain popularity based off of my work. Because for me, I don't want to be like, you know, PG County, Maryland is a heavily Black area. And I want to kind of not just, like, I'm for my people, but I also want to be diverse as well. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be siloed into just one group of people because of a show that I was affiliated with.
I think I think you made a hell of a point that I never even thought about. Like, when it comes to like an ink master, they really do focus in on the artwork and like the technique and talent of those artists. And then Black Ink is more of like the soap opera, you know, reality TV type of feel. And that's not to say that the artists on the show aren't talented, because if you go on their pages, you see, okay, y'all actually do have talent.
Right.
But that is rarely shown on the show. Mm-hmm. So that's like a real heavy point, like, to think about. Like, why? Why is that? Why can't they show more of the art? Why can't they focus more on the art? Why is there the feel or the need of the drama side of it to sell it?
And that's a whole nother conversation. We can go down the rabbit hole as far as, you know, Black TV versus white TV. And yeah, that's a whole nother topic. And what it's the dancing monkey dance. But like I said, that's a whole
nother Ryan. Okay, Ryan, for giving us extra topics for the next time.
Thanks. So, Ryann, I guess to keep it moving, how do you feel about tattoos? Since you personify the art, you practice it. What do you feel about tattoos in the professional job world, or AKA the corporate America, and the image that it comes across, or so forth and so on?
I honestly think this is a great, like, the time we live in now. You gotta think. So I just turned 30, and a lot of the people a lot of millennials are now growing into a position of power within those industries. Like, they're the managers and the senior project managers and decision makers now. In our generation, we get tattoos. Like, I can understand my mom, who, I don't know, is she a baby? I don't think she's a baby boomer. I don't know. Who's not 30. My mom, she's very, very old fashioned, I guess. She's understanding the concept now, especially with me being her daughter, but it was always seen as something rebellious or unprofessional. And now you go into some of these corporate, especially like I said, I worked in the government, see senior managers with full sleeves, blue hair. Especially me as a creative, I see it all. So, I mean, I think that we're in a good place now. I think that a lot of those people in those industries who did have an issue with it, who are older, are now retiring. So,
yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I think to an extent, I still think you can walk in rooms and have on, a polo shirt and show some tattoos. I can say that from experience, that people will still look and still have assumptions or judgments. I think what's happening now is this ability to be like, this tattoo doesn't define me type of thing. Where it's like, I mean, honestly, your judgment doesn't define me. I guess that's a better way to say it. Saying this tattoo doesn't define me means like I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but I actually don't. You know what I mean? I think like all the tattoos that I have meant something to me when I got them, except for like one or two of them. One or two of them was a random, but most of them have some kind of meaning to me. And if you ask me about it, we can have a great conversation about it. But it doesn't affect anything I do at work,
right?
Like at all.
And they're tasteful. That's another thing. I feel like as long as your tattoos are tasteful, like you're not going to get an explicit word in bolded letters in big letters on your forearm. You're not going to do that. Or even something on your face, which you see a lot. I get a lot of people to come in and say, yeah, I want a big black butterfly right here on my face. I was gonna say, yeah, she was a Howard student, but and those are things that I have to tell, like, she didn't get it. I kind of talked her out of it, but it's like,
that's heavy though. So like, do you think we'll ever be to a place where somebody could get a butterfly on their face and it be accepted? In the corporate world?
Honestly, no. She, like, this girl, she was also a psychology major. I was like, you do know, like, you're gonna have to go through school for a while, and you want you're 19 years old and you want a black butterfly in your face.
So does that mean in some way we'll always have this kind of like thought about what tattoos represent? Because if you think about it, basically you're saying as long as you can cover it up to some extent. I mean, maybe like you got a hand one or something like that.
Yeah, I would just say avoid the face. Avoid the face. Avoid the neck.
That's very visible. I think that's the main reason why you're saying that. It's visible.
Yeah.
It's like you can't disguise that at all.
Right.
So maybe we've come a long way, but still got some ways to go. Because to me, I'll put it to you like this. To me, at the end of the day, if you do the job well, it shouldn't matter. I mean, no, I'm not saying come in with like, fuck the world.
It depends on it depends on your profession. It depends. Like if you're a lawyer, like you're a prosecutor and you have a giant a spider web right here. It is
what if you're the Johnny Cochran of lawyers, but you decided to get a spider web on your forehead?
I think it's going to be harder to get other colleagues to respect you.
Yeah. No, it's not that I disagree. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I think it's like this thought of what tattoos represent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I think a lot has been done to get us past it, but there's still a lot of like the thought. I mean, even when I first started talking about it, I was like, my tattoos don't define me. What you think about it, I got more to offer than that. And I'm like, I'm thinking the same thing they're thinking in some ways. You know what I mean? If I come in the room and I'm like, oh, I'm going to this board meeting with the CEO and the COO of this company, let me go ahead and wear a long sleeve. Yep. I'm thinking what they're thinking. That, oh, it means something that it really shouldn't at the end of the day. Like you said, I believe it. Like, there's a lot of younger people, millennials, whatever you want to call it, who are killing it, making big money, owning big companies, and they got all kinds of tattoos.
Right.
And nobody's looking at them in any kind of way or whatever in their industry or in their business that they've made. Right? So I think it's something to think about. You bringing up hella topics right now. Like,
you're welcome.
Saying, you know.
I do want to interject though. I gotta say, I think it's all within reason. You know what I mean? I mean, ultimately, like you said, I mean, people have full sleeves, both arms, legs, everything, the whole nine. But it's not something like when you walk up at somebody with a full face tattoo, because that's pretty distracting. I gotta say, I'm not gonna sit there and say that I have an aversion to people who choose to get tattoos. I do not. Right. But I liken it to, and this is something I always say, it's like I don't want to go to get my teeth done from a dentist who got like grills or whatever going on in their mouth, and it's like it looks wonky in there. It probably is dope as I don't know what, but it's just look. I want my thing to look like that, so I'm gonna go to that person. So if being in the tech industry, I'm in tech or aerospace industry myself. If my CTO is got full on face tattoos, like and piercings out the wazoo, it's like.
But somebody tells you they're the best at what they do.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I think it's I live in a hybrid environment, right? Because I have an understanding of people's aesthetics don't dictate their ingenuity or their intelligence, but we also image is everything, and there were a lot of people that in America that are not ready for certain narratives. You know what I mean? Which can be extended to having a woman president, and I hate to be the guy to say it. I'm not one of them. I'm just saying from perspective. There's a lot of things.
She is soulboard too. She AKA too. So
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Even still, that could be one thing where some people can argumentatively say, well, she's vice, she's not pres. You know what I mean? And I'm one that believes that regardless, I don't think the world is ready for a full-on woman president yet. And it's not a me thing. It's there's some certain countries that still have women that are there over here, and they have. So I'm saying, as far as by conducting business transactionally, and personifying an image, a portrayal of image. I don't think that everybody's on that boat yet, and until the mold is broken, somebody's got to take those shots. Somebody's got to take those daggers in order for it to be a norm. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I say in 10 years, everything is going to shift, because by that time, like I said, the millennials will be in our 40s for the most part. In 10 years, we'll start to be in our 40s. So I think it'll shift. Things will be a little bit, we grew up, I was talking about this today. Even when it came to like social media, our generation is my generation, y'all, I think y'all Gen X. But
why you got y'all Gen?
Y'all are Gen X.
Come on, keep talking.
Y'all Gen.
Keep talking, Ryan. What you got? Come on.
But our generation is so special because we have half of it was pre-social media, and the other half is when social media was really starting to get hot. So we kind of teeter against both sides. And like I said, when we get to our 40s, we'll have that understanding of what it was before, when things were a lot more taboo, versus now, like, we're more accepting. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a pretty heavy mind thing that we unconsciously have a bias that we all are like saying is there, but it feels bad to actually recognize it.
Yeah.
Tattoos have a bad stigma because the realization of it is that if you're saying, like, if somebody put on glasses, like, I mean, you know, you may have the thought, oh, they're smart, right? That's been a thought behind glasses. Oh, I look smarter because I have glasses on.
Right.
But what we're saying is, what we're saying right now, literally, is that if you have a tattoo on your face,
mm-hmm.
my first thought is your image is something wrong. Like, you're not being presentable in a certain job field, or like depending on where you are. It's only that, right?
Right.
And like, it doesn't matter if you're actually good at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that's the same thought if I woke up and I'm like this, and I got a tattoo on my arm, and somebody's looking at me a certain way.
Looking like, oh, he's black.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, Ryan, you got a tattoo on your hand. That's like if you walk into a corporate office and you shake my hand with that hand, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, she got a hand tattoo, and I instantly think something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there is a stigma with it that I think all have that we have, whether we have tattoos or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me think it's going to take longer for it to be totally accepted.
Maybe.
And I got to say too, it goes again back to the choice too, because again, like looking at Ryan, looking at your tattoo, like, it's like, okay, shit, like that's cool. Like, it's not like, so that's not really. But if you got to go to court, let's say for instance that you got to go to court tomorrow, and you walk into court and it's like you like, shit, they might like try to put me away, and the judge is sitting up there with like tear tattoos on his face. It's like, okay, you know, I might have a problem before he even opens his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Or you gonna be like, damn, he may got me.
Right. No, then I would think more like you and be like, oh yeah,
he might look out for me.
Right.
I mean,
well, that's me.
I would think he's more for the people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it instantly comes with a thought. That's what I'm saying. It instantly brings up a thought, and I don't think it's always. I mean, in that moment, it could have been positive, but the reality is, you automatically think, I don't know.
I don't know. I always think people would say, and I could be biased, but I think if you have tattoos, if I can see like you sleeved up or you got a collection of tattoos, I'm like, oh yeah, you cool. You're somebody.
Yeah, I think the exact same thing. Like, if somebody that is in a higher position than me comes with like one day with like a polo and I see a tat, I'm like, oh, okay,
family. All right, you understand me. Okay, we can at least agree on something. We have something.
Maybe because I'm the baby. I ain't got no nothing there tattoo. I'll just say it. I mean,
Ryan, get him.
I mean, but if it's one of the things like a dude, just like you said, got a Care Bear on his neck, it's like, what are we doing, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, there's some people
that
that
may
like,
have sentimental value for him. It may have been for his like kid.
Oh, your neck, no. And we gonna try to get past this because I know you got to think places you got to be. But I gotta say too, because and that's the thing with me. And people, y'all can direct all things to me. Don't do it to Two Blue West. Like I have a thing. If I see a woman with like neck tattoos and stuff like that, and tattoos in the knuckles, I'd be like, bro, like I just can't. It's just in me. I can't. I gotta let it go. I am that guy because I'm like,
you're that guy.
I am. I could be because again, and I'm sure you're a fine individual. You come from an upstanding household, but if you got neck tattoos, when I think neck tattoos, I think Larry Hughes. They used to play basketball.
What?
Like, so you play basketball or something? Like
random stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's just my thing again. But I think I'm trying to say it goes back to the aesthetic of tattoos. Like it has to. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it's on the in soft places. I call them soft places where it's like it's not right there. No, I mean, come on now. I mean, I'm talking about places where it's not like dead on. I'm a killer. It's like, come on, bro. Like, why would you even do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just so many things to whatever. But that's my sorry. Hate to be ignorant.
I like it. No.
Yeah, we have.
I'm gonna start saying that. So you want it on a hard place or a soft place?
Yeah, soft. Right. Yes, man.
Hey, but this ain't a soft place. Just so you know.
No, I'm not saying by texture. I'm saying from a place that is not.
No. I know.
I got you.
We got you. Like a message.
It's like, oh my God, that's menacing. Like you got it on your neck. Like, why? Like you can put it on your back or something. Like, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it means something on your neck. But it's like, what does it mean though? Because it's on your neck. Oh my God. You know, but that's me. Anyway, I digress. Ryann.
Yes.
How has COVID-19 affected your ability to do your job, both in the live painting realm, as well as the tattoo realm?
Well, as far as tattoos, when we went into phase 1, which I think we're in it or we're about to be in it this week coming up, but we weren't working for a while, and it's crazy because at the time I had just quit my job. I'm all excited. I was like, okay, I'm tattooing full time. Enter COVID. Now nobody's working, so I and even live painting. Just to segue into that, I used to live paint a lot of the open mics around here. I was at an open mic once or twice a week, doing raffles, and actually I could make a lot of money doing that. And even like the festivals were canceled this summer, all of that. So I haven't really been doing any live painting unless actually no, I did it twice. They did virtual like Zoom open mics, and I just live painted on camera while people were saying their poems, and then we auctioned it off. But other than that, I really haven't been doing much. So it's definitely affected. I mean, there's no events, no live painting. But once they open the shops back up again, I mean, our process is crazy. Like you take your temperatures at the door. If you cough once, you better drink your water correctly. Don't choke. It can't go down no wrong pipe. Cough once, at least in my chair, and be like, so we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks. Let this go. Then you can come back. We take temperatures, masks on at all time. Our shop is pretty spaced out. Like I have my own little room in the shop, so that's pretty convenient. So it's just me and one other person, the client. They can't bring anybody with them. If they do, they have to sit in the lobby. So you better shout your support from across the room or something. But yeah, I mean, it's scary now that we're going back into another phase. They haven't said anything yet as far as closing down any barbershops, nail salons, anything with your service to people. But that's a concern. But it's the holiday season, so that's a blessing. So I've been doing commissions and stuff and painting. So one thing we say in the tattoo industry, COVID or not, in the winter sometimes it's typically slow for us. So we always say, remember December when it comes to saving. So I should be good, but COVID definitely has made this a weird year when it comes to performing and tattooing.
Okay.
I can dig it. I like that live online painting idea. We might got to do a podcast and have Ryann come paint live.
People were into it.
Yeah,
I like that. You can say a topic and have you paint it, and then we talk about the topic the whole time.
Yeah.
Fuck the game up. I'm trying to tell you. And then you get auction it off. I like it.
Listen,
I might get a cool
idea.
Innovative.
Coming up with look, you can develop a whole new show in this little bit of time you've been here. It's under 30 minutes, and you got like 3 new topics, a whole segment that we can do.
25%.
So I need to adjust your title to Tattoo Living Painting Artist and Think Tank.
Right.
So one quick question, because I know you got to get up out of here, Ryann. How do you feel about black people investing in art as a means of building a portfolio and curation and so forth and so on?
I mean, so we are in an art boom, is what I call it. Every single day I'm finding another young artist or new emerging artist or an artist that has been painting for a while that, you never even, at least in this area, in the DMV. And just in talking to and just getting to learn older artists and their journey and curators and collectors, you never really know what artist is going to be big or what artist is going to take off. And unfortunately, some of the masters, a lot of them didn't get their work founded until they passed away. And so in this area, at least, again, I can't speak for other areas, but in this area, a lot of the artists and we discuss of having being masters and having the world recognize artwork as recognize us as masters while we're living, and to find the value in collecting it. Because again, you really thought a person back when Frida Kahlo was alive, who bought a painting from her, really expected for her artwork to take off, and now they may be sitting on $1 million painting? You never know, and it's up to, the people who appreciate, especially like with my artwork, for example. I really, really value people who can tap into what I paint and my artwork, and want to continue to collect it, because I feel like they understand my story. And at least with my artwork, I tell a little bit of my story. It relates to current events and what's going on in the world. And so I always say, when you buy a piece of my art, you're buying a piece of history, literally. Because I'm painting my interpretation of what's going on in the world around me. Who knows? Like, my ultimate goal is to not be rich and famous or anything like that. I mean, yes, I take that back. But it's like gotta power lies in the tongue, so I gotta make sure. But my ultimate goal is that I want to be studied. Like, I want to create a style that students have to go to school to actually learn and develop and practice. And I always say that every single, and I know I kind of going on a tangent, but this is really important. Every single era of our American history has had some type of artwork that represented the culture of the times. For example, the 20s, the Harlem Renaissance, the equivalent art style is called Art Deco, which is what you would see with like the Great Gatsby and everything. That whole style was based off of described an era. Right. Victorians, like the Victorian style, or pop art with Andy Warhol. Or, you see what I mean? And so I ask and I pose this question to artists and collectors, like, what would you say is the style that represents the time today? I can't think of one yet, which means that it still needs to be developed.
Would you say that it needs to be developed, or would you say that it's death by oversaturation?
I can never see. I don't believe in oversaturation in the art world. I believe that there's a lane and forever, because people relate to different things. There's millions of people can develop millions of ideas, and they'll all be different. I don't know. I don't feel that way at all.
Let me ask you this: in the world we're in now, like you talked about artists like taking off, and when it comes to collecting art, you never know who's going to be the next whatever, right? How much like impact or responsibility do you think it is to the artist versus people who appreciate the artist, like for them to become big? Like,
I think the artist, the biggest thing is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's consistency. And when it comes to branding, I say my strategy is, what would I have done before social media? Because social media plays a huge part in visual art right now. Like, galleries are not the only way that you can find buyers. Right. But having consistency, producing artwork that has a message behind it, that tells a story, and something that is specific to your style. So there can be thousands of artists out here, but if I'm constantly producing art in my style that nobody else can replicate, I mean, they can try, but I'm the originator of that, it will create a sense of exclusivity, and the buyers would want to only buy my work, So I would say it's more so on the artist to capture the audience. The audience don't know what they don't know. They can't see what's in my head.
Do you ever feel like what's the word I want? Like, maybe a disappointment or a pressure? Like, I feel like when it's like pop culture or this social media culture of, I feel like if Kim Kardashian decided, I want to paint a picture tomorrow, right? She could sell it for millions. Oh, sure. And it's not about her talent as an artist. It's about, she's Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there are people who do that and like, you know, can just build off of the fame they've built or their name.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that's where that question comes from. Like, as a true artist, like this is what I do, this is what I'm passionate about. Do you ever feel the pressure to also have to now like be like a social media, like you have to
Yeah.
brand yourself heavily to get to the point of a, you know, that's
Um,
something like that.
Yeah, because same thing with tattooing or any other industry that you, as entrepreneurs, your audience has to fall in love with you in order to fall in love with the product.
Mm.
So, like most artists, not me, but most artists that I know are very introverted. I'm an extroverted extrovert. So I have no problem talking to people and like pulling people in just with my personality. But a lot of artists are not that way. At least face to face or, you know, virtually seeing people, they're not that way. So sometimes all they can do is speak through photos and images. And with Instagram, you don't necessarily have to talk to anybody to have them relate to you. You could just take pictures, you know, have them living literally, like not literally, but living in your world.
Yeah, you have a gallery.
You have a gallery, a digital gallery of your life.
Yeah.
But with Kim Kardashian, it's funny because that's a crazy thing to think about. Yeah, if she was to sell a painting, I guess it would sell for a lot just because it's her. And it's unfortunate because like previous President George Bush, he's actually an amazing painter. And I feel like a Kim Kardashian painting would sell more than one of his. He's an actual artist.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely different realms and different worlds that it's about. Like it's almost like country music and R&B music. I say that because like as somebody who's trying to get more into, you know, buying art, being invested in art, I took a trip to Carmel by the Sea in California, and I went to this gallery that I didn't know any of the artists' names in the gallery, right? But every painting in there was like 20,000, 25,000.
But
And
that's
I'm just like, wow.
because you haven't really dug into
Yeah.
the art.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
those are the people I always tell people, I said the art like as artists, you may not know their name, but they're probably making millions. Like think about like the artists that you saw in that gallery probably may have had art prints, copies of their artwork in every hotel in that city.
Right.
Or the art you see in airports, or the art that you see in IKEA, Ross, Marshalls, Target. Like those aren't originals, those are prints of the original thing. And the only way that they can get to that level is that somebody has had to notice them or seen their actual paintings, which may be in galleries. You see, like it goes a lot deeper. And most collectors are anonymous. Well, not most of them, but a lot of them are anonymous. You don't know.
But you bring up a hell of a point. Like you brought up another point on the business side of art. Like I don't think a lot of times when like younger people are getting into art or thinking about trying to make it like a life, like this is my career, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I don't think they think about can I get paintings in every hotel or this hotel chain or can I get Ross to sell my paintings or Ashley Furniture or like, you know, random stores to sell prints of my actual original, right? That's not even a train of thought to me that probably comes up. It's just like, you know, let me, you know, go this route of Instagram or social media and just try to get my name out there and put my pennies up when like what you just said is a I mean, an entrepreneurial way of thinking, a corporate way of thinking that I just don't think a lot of people think about when it comes to art.
Or even like Hallmark, like the cards that you buy.
This is the Hallmark.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that had to be designed, like whether you're doing graphic design or painting and turning them into prints, like it's all art.
That's real.
And I gotta say too, Etsy is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think that the placement is everything as well too. I think because I see a lot of parallels with the art industry that there is in the music industry. It's kind of pretty much the same thing. The same roads traveled.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it all boils down to perfecting your art and understanding how to get your art out into the space so that people can witness it. And I mean, and that's it. And I always like to say too, it's something that I kind of grew into once I moved out here to LA. It's like art is, it never was. You know what I mean? And if you look at it from that perspective, it's like, you know, art always lives, especially like people like, you know, Starry Night, Van Gogh. Like, you know,
it never dies.
It never dies. It literally is it. Like you look at it and you appreciate it for what it is. And it's people that aren't introduced to it, as they see it, it's like, oh, okay, that's dope. And it's just it goes back to the thing that and that's the last inference I'm going to use. Russell Simmons said it's like your product has to have integrity. Without integrity, that product is dead.
Right.
So regardless of, you know, like you just have to put your work out there, and at some point in time, you would hope that it will get you there while you're living. But you know, if it's living and breathing, it'll be there posthumously, and that's you know the best that you could do. At the end of the day, just put your art out in the world, and that's my belief on it.
I've already world when I die, my spirit lives on through the paintings that I create. Somebody like I painted a lot of commissions, and I have paintings and houses and homes and galleries all over the world. At this point,
Trap Museum.
Yeah, the Trap Museum. Trying to get out to Cali.
Okay.
Trying.
You got plugs in North Cali and Southern Cali. Like, make it happen. 2 Flew West. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely work around here in LA for real.
Maybe
sure.
Donnie will answer my FaceTime because I know.
Here we go. I take it. Once I get my picture out of that collection, that will come out sometime soon.
I am an artist. You can't rush these things.
I know that's right.
So I got to say before we get, because we got to get the one last question. We've already a little bit over time with you, Ryann, and we definitely respect your time as well as your talent. But I definitely got to ask, with regard to the talent space and all the things that encompassing with art, do you feel that art is not art as because I believe art breathes, right? Art as what it is something that people truly appreciate, or is it something that you just kind of just never know? You get what I'm asking?
Mm-hmm. I think people appreciate it depending on what speaks to them. So like for me, for example, I am really into abstract, like a contemporary abstract fusion art right now. Like the crazy figures, but like you may see like a subject or like a let's say a woman in the middle of a canvas with a whole bunch of crazy stuff behind her. I'm into that right now. Whereas somebody who likes more minimalistic art may think it's too much. You know, I think it really just depends on what you're looking for and what speaks to you for a person to determine if it's you know important to them or not. I think that answered your question. Maybe.
No, it answered the question.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's weird. I'll piggyback on it too. Like I think people appreciate art but don't appreciate it enough. I think a lot of people, like going back to the Kim Kardashian reference, and you know, if she's into art and is really studying, my bad. But
I don't know.
The thought that people take advantage of certain arts like music or art out of fame and don't really respect the craft and like what it takes for people who really work at it.
Put their stuff and put their heart into it, yeah.
Exactly, and put their heart and passion into it. That's where I think they don't appreciate. I think anyone can look at art and, like you said, kind of get out of it what they need and like, you know, interpret it the way they feel it and like have that appreciation. But when it comes to the actual craft, like the time I took to get to the point that I'm at, I think that isn't respected as much or appreciated
too. Like financially, you have to look at like there's not a lot of Gen Z kids buying art because A, they're broke, and B, they don't understand the importance of it yet. You know, I think that our generations are yours definitely, but like mine. I'm joking. But no, I think that like I said, like Nick, you just really started collecting, like seriously getting into like studying and collecting art, you know, and I think as you grow, you start to understand what you should invest your money in versus what society, what you see on TV is that looks cool. You know, what a lot of these kids or people don't realize that majority of these celebrities that are flashing these fancy things, they don't really own them. You know, they're investing their money in other things. Like an art would be one of those things. Like people, a lot of these famous people, and even people that you don't know, like the ones who are making all the rules, who aren't in the spotlight, are that are millionaires, billionaires, is the ones collecting art because they see the appreciation in it. So I think it just depends on what stage of life you're in, especially financially, because when you get into another bracket, you know, you're starting to look at other ways to invest your money, just not in like small material things.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, Ryan, definitely thank you for your time.
Thank you. This was fun.
I don't, you know, if we had more time, but I definitely understand that you're on the time schedule and we already borrowed too much of your time today. How can people learn more about you?
You can definitely go to my website, www.ryannkelly. It's not my website, RyannKellyCreations.com. Ryan with 2 N's. Also, you can go to my Instagram. I have 2. Miss Ryann Kelly. It's MS. Ryann Kelly is my art page. Inked by Ryann Kelly is my tattoo page. You'll be able to book a tattoo with me if you want a painting. You can also book a painting as well. But yeah, that's probably the easiest way. Or you can email me. But you know.
Okay. Okay.
Well, listen, Ryan, you know I appreciate you. Like you're one of the most talented friends I know. I'm definitely gonna get a tattoo from you if I can ever get back to the East Coast on a plane. I promise you. I gotta get in your chair and get some work from you. It won't be on my face or my neck, you know.
Just finish the rest of your arm out.
Yeah, I absolutely want to. Like I want to leave it out, and I would love to work with you on it. So I'm definitely gonna hit you up with that. Appreciate all the work you do. Keep doing what you do. I absolutely
do a tattoo right here, Donnie. Prolific, right here.
And I'm gonna be like,
yeah. I need to get one of those paintings from that collection. So once you're done, please let us know. Please let me know because I need that. But I appreciate you being on the show today. Like,
no, thank you for having me. This was awesome.
We definitely got to bring you back in more of a space where we can have actually talk on these topics that you've flushed out now.
Yeah,
I'm real about the live painting joint. Like, I think that would be a dope show. Like to let you live paint something and get it in. So
I'll paint. You rap over a dope beat.
Hey, let's get it. You sing the hook.
No.
I guess I'll just run the switchboard.
You direct.
Donnie got the beats. Look at the name.
We need to get a DJ in there for that. I'm too old for this. Listen, you guys are amazing. Again, thank you for tuning in. All our guests. Ryan, thank you for your time. Baker, my brother, you already know what time it is. This is Donnie B got the beats. Nicholas Baker is my brother. We got 2 Flu West. Tune in. Is this the last one for the year? I think this is the last
one for the year. We're gonna kick it off. But
happy Kwanzaa, New Year.
Yeah, happy Kwanzaa, the whole 9. Listen,
Obari Ghani.
Hey, bing, 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 bing. Happy birthday to me. By the way, we had this guy's gonna be on shameless plug. This guy's gonna be on Wheel of Fortune. Tune in. Anyway,
what's the date? What date? When?
How about
Christmas Eve, December 24, 2020. Tune into your local listings for the times and so forth.
Big money, big money, big money.
I do pretty good.
Did you take a picture with Pat?
I did not. He would not stand next to me because he's that kind of guy. But anyway, he's a nice guy.
Vanna.
Is Vanna. She's just beautiful. Both of them beautiful people. Like they're actually really, really nice. They're just funny. Pat sarcastic.
Vanna Gray now. She's like 117 years old.
Man, that's for another conversation, brother. I don't even want to do that.
The hell out of her. She's been turning squares for years now.
Yeah, she gets to speak him.
That's hilarious.
But nonetheless, like I said, it's 2020, man. Everybody stay masked up, stay blessed. We got a week left. and we gonna be out of here. And 2021 is gonna be bigger, beautiful for everybody. Let's get it in. Like I said, Donnie B got the beat, Nicholas Baker. Bye, Ryan. And we all for Two Flew West. And you guys have a safe and happy holidays.
Flew West. Bye.